harassed by hooting taxis and rude people that stink like marijuana in the taxi. That's the rest of mankind in South Africa. But look at these monstrosities in their high-rise buildings, on their twirly chairs, with all of their psycho fans out here kissing their bodies despite being the torment of those people packed like sardines in downtown Joburg. You know I'm fat, you know it. That's them. Yeah. According to the Bible, pride is their necklace. Now let's start from the top. They are not in trouble as others are. They're not stricken like the rest of mankind. To a point where a gentleman on YouTube out to be talking about why our African cities so dirty. Our politicians are making sure that's a thing. They don't even clean the streets, and they don't give people opportunities enough for them to huitlakula after using the toilet. Because if you're always living in dirt, why take a shower? You know what I'm saying? Okay. They are not in trouble as others are. They are not stricken like the rest of mankind. Therefore, pride is their necklace. Because they're fat, they know it. Yeah. Therefore, pride is their necklace. Violence covers them as a garment. In the book of Malachi, even their divorce and remarriage of new wives is violence. Go and read the book of Malachi because you think your name is Marcus Rogers. God calls what you did in putting away your first wife and not loving the breast of the wife of your youth violence. But don't take it from me, it's in the Bible. Okay, and these men that are trying to leave their wives for me or make out of me a side chick again, it's giving violence. Alright? They're not in trouble as others are. They're not stricken like the rest of mankind. Therefore, pride is their necklace and violence covers them like a garment, including the violence of abusing wives. Yeah, their eyes swell out through fatness. You know they're fat. They're fat. You know it. And you need that fat suit, dude, if you're not yet fat. But chances are you are fat. And you need to go on my 500-pound life and, shit a couple. But if you won't listen, you're fat. And you love it. You know it. So I don't care. Where am I with all these fatos? Their eyes swell out through fatness. Their hearts overflow with folly. Last video that I did, I lamented about how people be out here calling me fat phobic, and I'm like, listen, this is danger war. Don't nobody care about political correctness. You are fat, you're fat, you know it. Anyway, their eyes swell out through fatness until their eyes swell out. The one dude has such big eyes, like the Bud Madlisa. Ona mi 60 something this fatso want me so dead that I had a dream of him saying to me, VT, you know the V word? VOETSEK. Yeah, it sounds like sick. He was like, sick. Bah, bah, bah. Something that don't nobody recognize. Yeah, no, he was trying to kill me. Because not only did I call him fat and saying, you need to go and join my 500-pound life. Was Dodla? Was Guinyameno? Kampandlani? Oh, you're sad because a pretty girl thinks you're whack. And then after, basically doing a ritual to Alja, shoot me dead because they keep trying to shoot me. He then went on right ahead to deeply consider, since I call him Mr. Mpandlani, to consider getting a toupee. You're not only fat, but bold. You know it. And he did a satanic ritual to kill me because he figured that since the other one called to make her mother miserly and stingy towards her, maybe if we just back to back pile on a whole chunk of abuse on this woman, she will ultimately die. They will eventually push her over a cliff. She will eventually end her life, or something will finally catch. And so this fatso Wampandlani did that ritual. Mara, what I wanted to rather highlight about this fat Bandli idiot is that God showed me somewhat more. That's what he looks like. I think he's kind of pudgy, like shortish. And on top of that, he's got these big eyes that bulge out. Like, I had a friend that had really big eyes that sort of bulge out, but they were cute on her. You know, big eyes don't always work on everybody. Sometimes you look like Betty Boop. It's so cute. But sometimes you just look really scary, like you're always staring. And this guy has got such big eyes. And they're not the cute kind that make you look like a puppy, but the kind that make you look like, you're that dude. Joe. Because his eyes literally. Have you seen the movie Total Recall in the end? When they get, not in the end, but even in the beginning, where Schwarzenegger and that chick land in that hot sand and they start to scream. And then as they're yeah, listen, their eyes start popping out of their sockets and they get really big and they look really scary looking. Yeah, this guy's eyes look just like that. They look like my Van Damme. Yeah, Van Damme literally thing. When they're busy dying, they're in total recall, but then they survive. Yeah, they look like, listen, his eyes are just that big. And look at the Bible describe this dude, listen, verbatim. It's almost like the scripture was written just for him. According to the scripture, his eyes swell out through fatness. I told you this work gives me joy. Their eyes swell out through fatness. And the hamakima cute like those of my former best friend. I'm a hollow and I'm a big, and they pop out of his sockets, and he hates me with a purple passion because I keep on highlighting his flaws because he got psycho fans. He's like, what do they call this dude thing? Hugh Hefner. He's an old guy that's always got Model H type chicks encircling him. So crazy chicks that actually are willing to go and make out with the indota endala futhi yimbi iskobo hure. Yeah, they're happy to keep on making out with him, licking his tongue and everything, stroking that hard knock belly. They're happy to go and compromise themselves as these slender, tall model girls that he's always encircled by. And then when he happened upon Ugarabo, and she's like, ew, and then I started kind of explaining what he looks like, wakwata. And recently he got so mad that he went and said to me, sick. But like, you know the swear word? That sounds like sick. Yeah, he was like, sick, ba, 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 trying to kill me. Mamela Abudine, I had a dream of a satanic ritual done where somebody shot me at the back of my head. And my brain matter was popping out. And in that dream, I was walking around talking casually with my sister and everybody in that dream space. But then my heart started getting really emotionally bereft because I understood that I needed to go to a hospital because I was shot at the back of my head. And my brains was sticking out. That ritual has ever since then healed. Essentially, I fought it off. And me walking around with my skull bust open was God showing me that they spent so much money on such a heavy death ritual that it would put me through hell on earth. Now, even as I closed my eyes and opened them, I just had a vision of a dude trying to, almost like pulling apart with pliers something that is very hard, my legs, trying to rape me. Well, I mean, rape is indeed just in and of itself, but trying to rape me. Just going back to the drawing board, doing rituals. I want to end like, listen, mental illness. So so I get shot in the back of my head. I overcome that spiritual war. And then I get another dream after conquering that. I come out right as rain on the other side. And then this dude is like, sick, ba, ba, ba. Shoots me in my dream. I can't really say that he shot 3 times, but he certainly shot a couple of times. I can't tell you how many times in my dream. And the manifestation of that gun violence in my dream is what my family's doing to me. How much money you got, bugger? I will drain you with your fat eyes coming out of your sockets like the Bible describes. How many reiterations of spending money you with your footstools Sangomasa can't even give you a refund? And in Jeleni, how many trips to Nanakwaku there in Ghana are you gonna make before you realize that, listen, she's getting a little expensive? We don't know. But we just say that you gonna lose money. You gonna do that. Anyway, so this ugly fatso right next to his psycho fans and other crazy, marauding, malevolent, beastly freaks that want to record me doing a sex video, they just keep going back to the drawing board with the same attempts to make out of me a nothing woman because they just can't stomach the fact that God is coming for them, and so they're trying to kill the person they can't kill. This is what the Bible has to say about them. They have no pangs until death, until somebody rocks up and says, but your eyes are so ugly and you're fat and for somebody with that lang hakan, I keep like be nicer. And then he gets angry at you for highlighting that he's yeah, whatever. They have no pangs until death. Their bodies are fat and sleek. They're not in trouble as others are, and they're not stricken like the rest of mankind. Therefore, pride is their necklace enough to want to kill a lady chica because I called you fatso, and how finally you're gonna destroy my children. Listen, you're gonna ruin my genes. And he's like, you're gonna go to Qatar and die there after like the age of 99 and then face God. Except Lenanja is Oshona very soon though. This one is gonna die with his child, so bye. Yeah, okay. Therefore, pride is their necklace. Violence covers them as a garment. Yet again, like there's so many like intentions to. I just had a vision now of a lady out here just being very glorious in a dance class, ending up squandered by some crazy dude that put a baby in her stomach. All the best, okay? Their eyes swell out through fatness. Their hearts overflow with follies, like sick, ba ba ba. They scoff and speak with malice, again, sick, ba ba ba. They scoff and speak with malice, loftily they threaten oppression. Exactly my point. I just told you how much they threaten oppression. Bajalo, loftily they threaten oppression. They set their mouths against the heavens, and their tongue struts, cause they're those peacocks. Yeah, through the earth. Yeah, through the earth, okay. Dincha. And their tongue struts through the earth. Earlier today I had a dream of a dog, black dog, like it was gray if anything, a gray dog, but like it was a mixture of a dog with a pig, because it had the body of a dog, the facial structure of a dog, but it had a snout. And this little piggy dog thing was thoroughly trying to climb over the wall. It had the girth and the fatness of a pig, so it lacked the agility of a dog. Now imagine like a pig trying to climb a wall. I mean, this thing would obviously struggle, whereas a dog could maybe, like, you know, hop over the wall preenly, looking like a dog of pedigree or whatever. But no, this thing was rather with the body of a pig, struggling with, like, just absolute, like, he was struggling with mobility, and he was trying to climb over the wall. Imagine a like, imagine a pig trying to climb a wall. Yo, like, out here grabbing its legs and trying to lift its body, and then like its legs dangling at the bottom. That's what I saw in my dream. But it was a dog mixed with a pig, but the body was that of a pig, and he was trying to get over the fence to get Mosharate. And God was like, he was showing me that that's what they're doing. They're just dogs. They're pigs. Every time you post content, when they listen, it's like you're casting pearls to the pigs, and giving away the sacred to dogs, and all they can do is just plot and scheme and try to come in by some other way. They cogitate, they come up with different structures. Listen, they try very hard to make this thing work when it can't pay. It can't give. They cannot get what they want, and they will not get it. Mara, they're gonna try and hop over a fence, just like the devil who comes to steal, kill, and destroys, and does not come in by the way. Herein lies a piggy dog mixture hybrid. Maybe the Lord made it a pig and a pig. Yeah, perhaps the Lord showed it to me in my dream as a pig mixed with a dog, because the guy is a hybrid. He is a hybrid. He is a mixture of species. So maybe that God was showing me just an abomination, like something that he didn't create, a mix of a pig and a dog. Okay, ill, whatever. Listen, these people are just so grieving. You laugh periodically and satirically because it just eases the pain. It makes it less insane and incendiary, because I guess that's how you're surviving. But really, these things are painful. Hey, this is what they're doing to you. You're gonna listen to me, and when you hear what I have to say, these people are facing death or exile or capitulation, repentance. Listen, I'm telling you, this is what they do to the country. And this level of spiritual manipulation can be made to say because umuntu said I'm your fat. So umntwana yakhe that she can't afford to say that too. Kholo arrangewa di burial, kholo rekiwa di kuku, kholo rekiwa di catering van, kholo because motho we itsenje fela beke ago. I'll show you flames. You can call the bluff of people that are suicidal. When a person says that, listen, I am on the way out, and you have no compassion on them, and you decide that you're going to tell them jump. When a person, there are some people out your counseling, people who are threatened, who are dealing with family members or friends that are threatening suicide. And because when are you feeling that reverse psychology is what is your strategy? If you make a decision that you're not going to love someone, you make a decision that you're not going to humble yourself to basically saying sorry to umuntu that is now threatening to end impilo yabo. You keep on calling people's bluff who are like, I'm going to end myself, and then you're like, go jump. You're a dog. That's a last days epidemic where the love of many grows cold. If at all a person says bazos bulala, yes, bakhona abantu that just by cancer, but you don't have the luxury to assume that wonke umuntu uyazihlangisa. Better safe than sorry. You're better off out here paying attention to umuntu osihlangisayo that time and time again has displayed that bagatodlala ka emotions sabathu. You're better off being careful to attend to every last one of their sirens that they siren, rather than decide ukuthi wena you're going to tell them because ukwatile uhambe uyojumpa. Because some people, that is a cry for help. Some people just want to hear, I love you, listen, I'm sorry. Some people just want to be talked off a ledge. They don't actually want to die. Manje, when you put a person not only on the precipice of death because you have neglected them, and then when they say I'm on my way out, you then say I'm your jumper. And yes, like the life funeral, And after you get communication from the police that somebody's died here, when then the coroners are collecting this body, just like it, all you will do in your mental illness is ruminate over all the trash you spoke to a person that was on their way out. Humanity, you are too unkind. You are unloving. Life is precious in the sight of God. How many of these monstrous little YouTube crazy monitor people do I have to keep pushing or pulling off the ledge? When you put them there, it's not my responsibility to carry your babies. And yet when they listen to my content, they decide not to kill themselves because you've put people in a position to die. South Africa has got the second highest rate of suicide in the world, second to no one but Russia. So when a person in this country is like, listen, I'm on my way out, you don't get to say hamba uyofanja. You will invite the generational curse of suicide when there's been no one in your family ever to do it before. So I mean, are you not then going to be driven to mental illness? Are you not going to go to Sterkfontein? Are you not going to find yourself in a jail cell? Are you not going to find yourself catatonic after the person you told when they said you are putting me in a position to die? And then this person says, go kill yourself. When they do it, don't you see that you're 5 seconds away from going to Sterkfontein? You who are calling people's bluff, you who are playing with people's emotion. This whole country is full of crazy, trashy people like those. Like my mom. Just like it. So manje, when people recognize that you are making people say things to their sons and daughters like go commit suicide, and then the sons and daughters are committing suicide, you're a cancer in the country. You're a mental illness that has yet to be tabulated in medical journals as something diagnosable. You are a disease, a pathogen that is a brand spanking new find in the ecosystem of human beings, and not for us to interrogate under a microscope as to how to find a cure for it. You are a brand spanking new illness that is discovered, and if people don't start to tackle it head on, you will not only mutate, but you will spread to more and more people until no one feels anything. And so now when people in the country are just dropping dead, because I mean, we're not fikile, right? Hey, and Jabatung, if somebody makes a decision to make like a pathologist and just find a cure, let them bang you out the way like a pew pew pew. You need to die. You're an overdose in the body that makes people foam at the mouth and then starts to have like a cytokine storm and then code and see God and then get told go to hell. Okay. Let's go, guy. They set their mouths against the heavens and their tongue struts through the earth like a peacock that's very ugly because it's been plucked of all its plumage. Okay, like that cat that has no fur, it's so ugly, but some people thoroughly have it as an animal. There's a cat on earth that, like, I think it was in the movie Austin Powers, like it has no fur. You're like that cat. Okay, cool. They set their mouths against the heavens and their tongues thrust to the earth. Therefore, his people turn back to him and find no fault in them. People have these people for sycophants. Therefore, his people turn back to them and find no fault in them. And they say, Mamela, how can God know? And they say, how can God know? Is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these are the wicked, always at ease, they increase in riches. All in vain. I have kept my heart clean and washed my hands in innocence. You get to that point, right? For all the day long, I have been stricken and rebuked every morning. If I had said, I will speak thus, I would have betrayed the generation of your children. But when I thought how to understand this, so here Asaph is saying, if I said something about these crazies, I would have betrayed the generation of your children. But then when you realize that God is the one that takes up the cause for those who are struggling with these strutty, ugly cats with no fur, you will then relax. Okay, but when I thought how to understand this, it seemed to me a wearisome task. Okay, until I went into the sanctuary of God. You get worn out by the fact that they just keep winning. Until I went to the sanctuary of God, then I discerned their end. Truly, you set them in slippery places. You make them fall to ruin. How they are destroyed in a moment, swept utterly away by terrors. Like a dream when one awakes, oh Lord, when you rouse yourself, you despise them as phantoms. Goodness, you wreaked havoc for a season. And I woke up with cold sweats after a bad nightmare, but then I wake up and realize they're just a nightmare. And seeing as it's a nightmare, I get to say that all it was is a dream. These people come and they terrorize you like a bad dream. But in the morning you wake up, what, relieved, right? That they're gone. That's how God deals with them. They terrorize, but then God deals with them like you waking up from a horrible nightmare and being relieved that it was just a dream. The Bible says, you set them in slippery places, you make them fall to ruin. How they are destroyed in a moment, swept away utterly by terrors. Like a dream when one awakes, oh Lord, when you rouse yourself, you despise them as phantoms. Iphupho nje elimbi kodwa hey iphupho nje at least. Ke waphupha ngumuntu omthandayo ashonile lenyembezi obolelekiswa ke diphoofolo. You know the relief ha o tsoga. That's how God looks at these people. You are terrorizing like a bad dream. Mara o saying when my soul was embittered, when I was pricked in heart, I was brutish and arrogant, right? Not arrogant but ignorant. In other words, you start to bash your fist against God. I was a beast towards you, right? I was brutish and ignorant. I was like a beast towards you, because just being very disquieted by the fact that you think that God is doing nothing, except no, God is not doing nothing. He's never not doing anything. He's very busy. He got this. He is God. Only just wait and see what's gonna happen. Nevertheless, I am continually with you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel. You see, when you seek the Lord, He will then guide you, and He will also comfort you and pamper you with relaxation. You guide me with your counsel, and afterwards you will receive me to glory. Hey, Romans 8 verse 18, the present sufferings are not worthy to be compared to the future glory that you stand to gain. You will be received into glory. We understand that we have eternal lives, so that all the afflictions on our persons, we take them lying down. We take them lying down. Those are all the afflictions. Do you understand what I'm saying? We just grab them. We grab them. Because whom have I in heaven but you? Earth has nothing I desire besides you, like I just read right now from Psalm. I think it's Psalm 73. Doesn't that stand correct? I just read another Psalm right now. Okay, 37, sorry. You guide me with your counsel, and afterwards you will receive me to glory. You will receive him in. Okay, whom have I in heaven but you? And there is nothing on earth that I desire besides you. These two are similar. I always confuse Psalm 37 and Psalm 73. Okay, whom have I in heaven but you? And there is nothing on earth that I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart may fail. Like my flesh and my heart is failing me right now. My flesh and my heart may fail, but God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For behold, those who are far from you shall perish. You put an end to everyone who is unfaithful to you. But for me, it is good to be near the Lord, to be near God. I have made the Lord God my refuge, and I tell of all your works. People have been trying to kill God's servants for a minute, and I said to the Lord, Father, you know I don't mind dying, but please don't let me end my own life. Do not let these people push me to a point where I could die. Do not let it get there. My mother deserves to find a dangling body of her own child on the property. She deserves to attend a funeral that will ultimately put her in a psychiatric hospital. But I don't deserve to die like that. I do not deserve to die the way that my mother just told me go die. I don't deserve to die a suicide death while my enemies that put me in a position to be in this horrible space deserve the humiliation of how you abused a woman for so many years that she eventually took her own life. They deserve that rap sheet, but I don't. And I also do not deserve to I don't know why I don't deserve to, just so I don't commit suicide. These things, like I don't know what, I don't even want, they're not people. No woman deserves to lie under a grunting, sweating, ugly beast with popping eyes. Because listen, otherwise I don't fear death so much that in order to avoid it, because my mother has been made a zombie walking around afflicting me, I don't deserve it so much. I'm not scared of it so much that I would go out like that. God knows that I would rather die. He knows that I would first grab a noose and hang myself before I will lie under some sweating beast. He knows that. So you tell me what's gonna happen over here. Will you get to a point where you're watching this video? Will you? Will I get murdered by suicide? Will I? Or will you get to listen to this video? Will I prosper to deliver this content to you? Because if I am delivering this video, it means I survived whatever's going on right now. Because it takes me forever to edit my content, and I tend to be 2 videos behind. So what I'm posting this week is not this work. Therefore, if I survive 2025, I will make it out of 2025 because she's coming back in 2026. But if I barely live like the first 2 days of 2026, if I'm gone by then you won't watch this video. If at all this woman has been handed over to such a reprobate mind that she would fulfill and finish and try and so make me essentially be like, but God, I tried, and then end up grabbing a noose and ending my life, then you won't see this video. So therefore I guess you won't have a need to get prophecy pertaining what God is doing and also what was done to me. You will not be awarded an opportunity to understand what just happened over here. But if at all you are seeing this video, I will have survived that likely has got a very bad breath because of all the just angry, ugly STDs in his stomach. That wants to put me in a house here, side piece, and say, but I'll take care of you for life. And then when I survive, he's like, I'll take care of you. When a man has got that level of pendulous mental illness, when he is that schizophrenic and he thinks I'm one day going to allow myself to be grunted over by inja that's gonna groove a cave structure in my stomach, the way grunting on umzimba wam, for him to fathom that I would slay under him. Because he made my mom drive me to the edge of suicide until I was like, okay, I'll take you with your ugly mpandlani. For him to think the day's gonna come, sense. When I'm finally, I keep like proper, and he impatla so badly that even after he tries to kill me, he then bounces back to, but I'll take care of you when I survive. For people to think that God is gonna essentially hand me over to that level of disaster, in people so hedonistic that they can't see that they're destroying a country with their incendiary activity. All they want to do is have sex. When that's your country, Mamela Lokata, the Gen Zs, you are going to get exhausted. You are going to breathe heavily like you are old. You're going to wheeze ingati you've got emphysema. You are going to struggle to go up and down the stairs. Why? Albeit being agile and young, you're going to have a rough life. You're going to have a rough life. Why? Gen Zs, you're going to have a rough life because I am a Gen Z looking Gen X/Gen Millennial. I am an Xennial. I was born in 1984. I look like you, however, because thank God black don't crack. I look young, and God has preserved me largely, not even so much because I'm black, but because I'm going through hell on earth. So he has seen it fit to give me favor by preserving my youthful spunk. If at all I did not say 20,000 times in my video that I'm 41 years old, no one would ever know. So essentially, these men are not so much attracted to me as a 41-year-old woman. They're attracted to what they perceive outwardly, phenotypically, as a 27-year-old or a 25-year-old. My youngest sister is 24. I keep hearing by the Holy Spirit that they're busy murdering. They say her name is Lolo. I keep hearing from the Spirit they're busy murdering Lolo. And so speaking about me, he's basically saying they're killing you because, no, not so much because I'm young. They're killing you for being entitled to having you because they feel entitled to beautiful young women. And so you're like Lolo at present. You look like Lolo. And so because you look like Lolo, just a Christian woman, here they're killing what they've been killing in the country. Beautiful, striking young women with futures that are so glorious, and they're so old, and these slay queen girls are letting themselves settle for these older guys that are so heavily involved in rituals, having been made CEOs in their mid to late 30s. So they're young executives, they're young CEOs, and they are devouring like breakfast, lunch, and dinner not Gen Millennial, but Gen Zs, just sending them across the world, showing them a life that they don't yet understand because they're still too young to afford it themselves unless they're an Insta babe. And they're then killing them because older men, when they're that involved in rituals, their possessiveness over the glory of a young woman makes them frenzied. They are paranoid schizophrenic. They thoroughly cannot rest. Like, young people are like atoms vibrating on the spot. They can't stay in one place. Plans, they're always going somewhere. Whereas when you're older, you want to spend rather most of your nights at Jardini. Tomorrow go jazz festival, the next day go trapong, the next day you're too much of a vibrating atom. And so when you're dating a dude that's just setting you across the world, a dude that's buying you expensive gifts, and a dude when then in his paranoia he is of the imagination that I'm chitela. When you talk to guys your age, given that they have agility and energy in their bones that he lacks, also every one of your friends that you hang with, every WhatsApp you get that's from a guy, every so possessive that they incubate Gen Z girls as millennial men, and sometimes even Xennial, and sometimes even X at all. And in the instance of the 63-year-old that is like Hugh Hefner, listen, you're a baby boomer hanging out with Gen Zs that are sycophants to money, lots of it, because they don't have it. That's the thing that I was talking about. My ministry is a heart for women. I came to the world and I realized I cannot just because it's denying people the truth of what they believe from the very get-go. So I developed a passion for women. And in so having this passion, I then was like, listen, I tried to restore women to how to think that they might not find themselves in this nasty space. But I live in a country out here, I live in a nation out here exploiting the glory of they are out here exploiting, yes, the glory of youth, but more than the glory of youth, they are exploiting the desperation of youth that, albeit being super glorious and super beautiful, are nonetheless struggling. And they want this fake life that is flashy and glamorous, however, without the opportunities that ought to be awarded them by the government that claims to be empowering black people. They can't gain that empowerment, but they want it. So who then is the financier of that life? If at all you can't get it through your own degree, through your own studying, if at all you can't get it through your own hard work, if at all working like a dog causes your laundromat to lose electricity. So you can't get customers during those hours when there's no power, because those people, those same government officials that are to be feeding into big business, giving people tenders, making them fat while everybody else is becoming poverty stricken like no man's business, while everybody else is living in abject poverty. What then do you as a young little Gen Z do when your laundromat keeps on plunging to the ground, even though it would have been a thriving business enough to give you a nice little townhouse somewhere in these Johannesburg streets? I mean, really, you're gonna let some idiot guy pamper you. And it's running, they're drawn to glory, they're drawn to beauty, they're drawn to the radiance of youthful skin that is yet to lose collagen. They're drawn to Butlebalona, your snatched waist. They're drawn to your taut buttocks and your firm breasts. Men will always be attracted to the youth of a woman. And so if you're older and yet, however, have pretty much taken care of yourself, or you look good for your age, they will also be drawn to you. However, they will be ever so slightly disrespectful, precisely because they understand that you are older. When you tell them your age, they will be shocked, but they will treat you like trash because they know your age. So therefore they love attractive older women, but they mistreat them, and they will always at any given day leave the attractive older woman for a younger one, because youth is just the best of both worlds. You're both young and you also look really great. So I am this thing that they feel entitled to, because even when you're 41, what the heck? So I gotta go and let myself, and I have been trying to speak to women saying, Mamela, this thing is literally right up your alley. It's crawling up your skirt like a bad man. It's crawling up your skirt and it's trying to take you in Ghani, and it'll pursue you into the grave. And you will then find yourself on that day in Hades trying to understand what happened. Why didn't I listen to the gospel? And why am I here? And why am I dead at 22? You were killed by some dude on a 38, but he was already a CEO. Like there's one that's 38 years old and is a CEO. I found out the other day that Una 38, so he's even younger than me. And I keep saying, I keep that are younger than me. I want a guy that is older than me. I'm in your 30s. Listen, I don't care. I keep that's younger, and I said that, and I'm gonna stick to my guns, because I get so worried enough for my age by a man that I'm with, and there is just no guarantee, because I'm that's all that I'm doing. I'm just protecting myself. I'm a certain age. When he's older than me, if it all he guaras me, but chances are why? Because he'll be godly. What's next? I just heard, like, yeah, Baba Tom kids are stepdaughter, not stepdaughter, but what you might call this thing, a mother with stepkids. I spoke about that in my last video. Okay, that's what under heaven is going on over here. These dudes are attracted, they're drawn wholeheartedly to kids. So why I'm being murdered is because I represent the thing that they can't stand about women. I got all powerful so that you will salivate at my feet, that even though you don't believe in Isitembu, you will capitulate. There was a young woman on YouTube that I listened to the video of, and I got grieved, and so because I got grieved, I couldn't even sleep. She was speaking about, she's a Gen Z. You can tell that I don't want to, barely out of high school, maybe second year university. She certainly doesn't have a 9 to 5. So 20 at most. And she just spoke about how she dated a guy a year ago that was 38 years old. I don't know why you find them attractive at that age, and why you don't feel like you're in danger. And I also said in my video that I don't have an issue with an age gap between a man and a woman, because if a man is righteous, he can take a 20-year-old brat as a 40-year-old man, insofar as he will rightly steward her and love her as a wife, and not be possessive and treat her like trash. But these guys that are drawn to these little Barbie dolls, fresh out of, fresh out of their packaging, they're drawn to them because they've still got this porcelain skin. They're still so young. Their waists are so snatched. Now it's for them, it's like there's more of them where they came from. And when men then comfort themselves with the fact that they can just dangle a couple of dollars in the eyes of women and they will fly around, okay? Like dandelions that you have blown. If at all they feel as if though women will jump up and down on the spot like oil on a frying pan, insofar as you will wave a couple of dollar notes on them when they've been spoiled by crazy young women that are willing to ignore the age gap of a guy that is incredibly evil, so he can't even love you as a 20-year-old absolutely young bride. When you get used to all these little girls accommodating these guys that are so much older than them, these guys then get to a point where now they've met Karabo and they're like, who do you think you are to reject me? First and foremost, Una 41, you don't know which is about 22, so and then secondly, no one says no to me. But why does no one say no to me? When I was listening to this young woman's testimony, I could relate to everything she was speaking. How she was attracted, how she was brought into this guy's space, DM'd her from Instagram, and then spoke to her in a language. She was immediately drawn to him. Isizulu Sake that he was speaking to her made her go loco crazy. when she finally spoke to him, wahlangiswa ivoice yakhe. When she was finally in his company, wahlangiswa icompany yakhe, she was mesmerized by this guy. She felt when she was with him like, this is my world, you're just living in it. I have been with a guy that even though he was not a potent magician that was much older, he was nonetheless using a ton of magic on me. Such that when I was with him, even though I was a Christian, I felt like this is my world and you're just living in it. I was so arrogant during the time I was dating that guy. As a Christian, I was filled by the Holy Spirit, but I just had this euphoria in me because I felt like, hey, look at me now, look at me now, look at the man I'm with. I walked around with an air of arrogance. The thing that gives you that euphoria is magic. Like proper, he made me, this guy didn't even have imali. He wasn't even wealthy. He was just a colleague at MTN. Mara only just say so not aganglisanga. He never ever bought me anything to eat. Got the only telling me he spiritually onloile. Korobela, habo shoko kotsi. That's that when he spoke to me. Hello Ntokazi. When he spoke to me, I couldn't resist him. And mame like Mzalwane. So I mean, if at all Mzalwane could get taken over by that thing, like sniff that makes you sneeze. Kaze wena ungubani ungazi God, wena ungathandazi wena ungasonti, wena ungafundi iBhayibheli, ungubani wena? If at all that spirit can come against Karab. Hey, who are you? Baby girl, be one tomorrow's victim. She spoke about how she could not deal, and then Mamela, listen, somewhere along the way, this man almost told her, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm actually a married man, and you remind me of my wife. They are arrogant enough to say stuff like that, like it don't hurt. And then he told her that if you are comfortable with it, I'm into isiThembu, I'm a polygamist. And herein lies this chick that's been monogamous all her life. She's only ever been a one woman man and dated one woman men, or at least hoped that they were faithful. This chick would never in her brains, chilling in her bedroom, filing her fingernails, ever say, one day if I meet the right man, I don't care if at all he's into isiThembu, I'm gonna accept it. What in the world makes a monogamous woman just ignore Indaba yokuthi indoda is into isiThembu? She was like, okay, I'm fine, it's okay. Essentially willing to accommodate being a second wife. These men are aware that these women who are independent, that are able to take care of themselves, are too strong-willed to accommodate isiThembu, so they gotta help themselves along with magic. Mind you, this magic, when it works time and time again, swimmingly, smoothly like a criminal, slicing like a knife through butter, a hot knife through butter. When at all, these are the disasters that they induce in the lives and in the hearts of women. I need to go and open the house for my cat so she doesn't feel stranded inside the house. When the men, because it's like 8:07 in the morning now, when these men accommodate and appropriate this particular behavior in an ecosystem and it wins them success, when they succeed to dupe so many young women that are, what do they call this thing, young women that are monogamous, agreeing to isiThembu, eventually they will think, anything I can get it. And so when then you train, when they get trained that this magic that makes women dizzy until they don't know whether they're coming or going, when they are spoiled essentially by this witchcraft working, one day they crash into, like it's a whole head-on collision, a Christian, and this chick is like, I'm darker. This chick is like, I want tinti. This chick is like, you're stinging me like a bee in your limasa. This chick is like, I'm funny. This chick I gotta respond to my DMs. Hey, Masadiona is supposed to not only respond to direct messages, but she is supposed to go crazy when he's like, hi Ntokazi. She is supposed to melt at him calling her. She is also supposed she is supposed to say, yo, I know I'm blessed lana. And a happy lifestyle, my lifestyle lavish, the thing that makes you walk around fluffing your plumage in a mall. Isn't that who's gonna take you on shopping sprees that are gonna make abantu think of you as something jackpot. You know how in my other video I spoke about how it is that, especially with these Gen Zs that are still in university, type setup thing. A dude I'll just be throwing 15,000 rand into a person's bank account. First date, you haven't kissed him, you haven't held his hand, nothing, only hugged, and on that day, best like sharing at 15,000, sharing at 20,000. These men love to splurge on little girls. It's what I'm getting at. And when then these girls go crazy and they get spoiled by these idiots, by isiThembu, the same idiots then, after being spoiled by number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 chicks on one university campus, and he doesn't understand, but confused. Do you know who I am? Listen, exactly, I do know, and it's precisely because I'm phony. I got 15,000 there. How you like them weak? You're an Amalekite. You like them young. You like them vulnerable. You like them from bad families. You like them from moms that don't give a hoot about their daughters. You like them from spaces where you like them from family members that out there, the moment they start singing a song, mom is like, don't quit your day job. You like them perpetually being competed with by siblings who don't care for them. With porcelain skin, really gorgeous. And while I am a much older version of all that, and they can't understand why Kisadigeni, and it is when young women are abazingeni despite their hardship that people start to die. It is when this buzzing atom on the spot that is moving from pillar to post, one spot to the other, because I'm young, I'm fabulous, and I've got a life that I gotta live. And waiting for the phone call. It is when they then that they then find themselves dead, and burnt to a crisp in some bush. It's when they get found dead, just like Karabo Mukwena. Sandile Manswe was my age, more or less. Ukara was much too young for that guy, and he was married too. It is when you find them possessive men. They get possessive over Buntlebo and youthful, and it makes them therefore very inhospitable, like hard no culture nasty, crazy boys. And they need to go out here and paint the town red to experience themselves. Bazonda activity of the youth. The glory of youth. Babata stability ya older women that are sitting at Jactin, that are happy to just spend all Saturday at Jactin watching Netflix and not go out. Sunday, if it's the holidays, this woman is not even like gonna go to already goes out go pick and pay. And older women tend to be just generally tired. Listen, I've done my time. I've been up and down I've done my time. I've been up and down these Joburg streets. They like people and just blooming at the house, but these people are blooming at the house. I've been a glory of youth. So bafuna they bread butter on both sides. They want older the stability of older women, but the glory of younger women. So if you then find yourself, God forbid, like Karabo, listen, a combination. She looks like a young woman, but she's out here hanging out, chilling at Jardini like an older lady. I get to have this glorious, spunky looking Gen Z, got to upload Jardin. And mind you, when they then feel entitled to you on that day and you don't want to be with them, like I said, that's when they start to bring out guns, trying to shoot you in your scalp, trying to end you to your family members, trying to ram into you like go-karts at a rally. Mamela, lezo zinjalo. So blomisa the Gen Zs, and when they don't blom because they're very energetic, oh, they will try and grab a woman that is stable, however you look good for your age, and then the way and when this chick is like, hey, when we young when they sing young telela again, they die. Listen, they just can't help but kill some females. So God showed me the other day that these buggers are killing me precisely because I look like a Gen Z, though have got the life of a late millennial, early Gen X. Like the rest of my peers. I look like I graduated university just day before yesterday. If at all they can get their bread buttered on both sides, these possessive nutbags, they will get it. The issue here is not on the guy that wants a woman home, because frankly I'm happy to be home. It's in the fact that Indoda is going to insist on it. And so therefore I'm incarcerated at Jabdini and not so much free to just leisurely stay at home instead of go out. That is the problem. It is the possessive insistence upon keeping a woman in a bunch. Indodenjalo is gonna drive so many bullets into your body out of just wrath and rage because you want to come free. The coroner is going to be in horror upon receiving your body. The medical examiner. Because boy, this woman died in the first round into her scalp, but you continue to shoot 26 more times. They kill that violently, and they're killing Gen Zs. That is why they're gonna rise. Because Tina, Mina, what I am is rare. Like an older woman that has the stats of a young woman. I've never been married before. I have no children, and I am also very beautiful. And I'm just hanging out, I'm chilling. I'm like the perfect woman. Really young and with no baggage. They don't like a woman with 20 baby daddies. But man, how they love to be the daddy of 20 baby mamas. And yet they like to be the man, the man that has got 20 baby mamas and yet nonetheless comfortably lodge himself in the life of a woman that's never had children, never been married. Like I'm speaking clean rap, clean sheet. And this is what I'm speaking about to these crazy guys that are standing back letting these monsters take South Africa over. Bani tatela abafazi. Because who are the most eligible bachelorettes? Who are the most eligible spinsters essentially? It's these 25-year-olds. It's these 24, 22-year-olds. They're at the height of their fertility and they are at the height of their marriability. And they're out here splurging on them as CEOs at the age of 38, at the age of 40. And they are taking them as wives after dizzying them with spells until they find themselves in marriages isitembu with a man that is already married. And they decide that I want to take you as a second wife. Get girlfriend, this little girl who's baby mama was she? Whose wife was she? Somebody's, not that guy's. Go to Mtati. Banithatela abafazi. Because baba lawyer, baba jisa hure. So njengoma, that is what you're dealing with. Njengoma, that is the calamity that you are dealing with, the slave queen culture of these chicks that can't sit down. We're then going to be dealing with a most entitled batch of crazy, gnarly, monstrous, beastly, psychopathic psychopaths. Yeah, because they deserve that twice. Just nibbling away at a country until there's nothing to eat away at. And when there's nothing to eat away at the very Gen Zs that they squandered and taking away their health because they tend to be HIV positive, the very Gen Zs that they did this through are going to find themselves now with a scorched earth, having nothing to look at anymore. And then they're going to be like, South Africa. Let's go pop them. And so they are going to end them. The Gen Zs are the end of the South African government as you know it. Understand, they're the end of it. The present Gen Zs are the end of big business crazies. The Gen Zs are the end of the present judiciary in the country, the present legislature. Listen, all the arms of government there, the Gen Zs are the end of the present incendiary, corrupt police force of this country. They're going to end them. Because even when they go and they report cases of rape against, in particular, them, because they are raping the Gen Zs and they're killing the Gen Zs. Yes, every so often you get the odd garabo, but largely they're killing young women. When then they go to the police station to report this rape, they don't get arrested. When then they do a rape kit, it disappears. When then they go to court, the guy gets away scot-free. There's no evidence. When then, yeah. When then, if girl our age, and then on top of that, nibapa ama STD so they can come and sleep with us as Gen Z guys, and then give us STDs. If at all, the prevalence of HIV among 18 to 25-year-olds is caused by you, but Melissa's in your late 30s and 40s. And then on top of that, you then make all of us poor with a 33% unemployment rate, largely concentrated in the youth, and then you claim that we are supported and supplemented by black economic empowerment, when all that's been being empowered in the black community are a small number of elite. And then you are making perfectly marriable, viable young women, little slave queens that realize that upon having no economic options to juice this country, now gotta go and make out of you an ATM machine. They gotta go and make out of a man. Do you understand what I'm saying? Her career. And so take away our wives, and then to give us all the STDs you catalog in their bodies. When then the country looks all together like that, Gen Z and they will all take up arms and end you. Because is there no bitterness all up in their HIV positive bodies? And is there also no bitterness hanging out in all of their lives whose girlfriends were stolen by high school sweetheart yakho ikshiyele inja at 39 and then to the shopping spree Santon, and her whole family doesn't understand why her personality changed overnight. Relationship, she's got 3 STDs and a baby on the way. I gotta go open for my cat because ain't nobody else is trying to be altogether abusive and leaving a cat inside the house when she's feeling some kind of way. Okay, I'm back. That's how under heaven you're gonna deal with these nutbags. Ugh, every time after doing a new set of cornrows, my scalp gets itchy. Like, I can't stand it. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Right ahead. Where was I? Yes, Lama Totalawa. I opened for my cat, and as soon as I opened for her, she came out like she was at the door. This is around the time when she wakes up and leaves this side anyway sometimes. It's 8:27 in the morning. So it is what it is. Yeah, that's what these men are doing. So essentially who it is that is their target market, who is their target audience, who are their victims? It's Gen Z young women. And so the collateral damage becomes Gen Z young men that become the boyfriends of these women, and then they end up getting the AIDS, yes, they're busy spreading diseases among themselves because they're a bunch of fornicators. Mara, the prevalence of HIV among 18 to 25-year-olds, we all know, is caused by Abapot Malesa. Listen, we know that's the thing. So anyone that is trying to proliferate any other different agenda, everybody's in denial on that day, and everybody is a big fat chunky gargantuan, like as in mammoth liar. Yeah. Now that we have established the lying nature of all of these monstrosities, let's move right ahead onto onto Proverbs 6 with these men that bang patangangan. The guy that said sick, the word that is a swear word, an expletive, however that sounds like the word sick, shooting me 3 times. Him and his conglomerate of crazies, because they take ideas from my ministry. Listen, do you? Where am I? I spoke about the certain crazy behavior of my relatives. I want Proverbs, and I want Proverbs 6, and in particular, I want Proverbs 6 from pretty much the end. Yes, from verse 16. Mamelang, this is what verse 16 has to say. There are 6 things that the Lord hates. 7 that are an abomination to him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that devises wicked plans. Feet that make haste to run to evil. A false witness who breathes out lies. And one who sows discord among brothers. Let us reiterate that one more time.